Brahma-gyana timarandasya gyananjana shalakaya chakshurumilitam jena tasmai Shri Guruve namaha. Shri Chaitanya manobhistang stapitang jena bhutale swayam rupa kadamayam dadati swapadantikam. Shri Balaram Jayanti ki. So, the order of the spiritual master is paramount. Prabhupada often tells a story of the Brahmana in Rangajit temple in South India. He was illiterate, but his Guru Maharaj instructed him that you should read Bhagavad-Gita every day. So every day he's reading through Bhagavad-Gita and his friends are having a little fun with him. Oh, Brahman, what's your understanding? He cannot read, cannot write, illiterate. But he took the order of his spiritual master very seriously. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, how is it that you are reading? And he could sense that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not there to play games with him, or sometimes friends like to mock each other, have fun. And he said, no, I cannot read, but my Guru Maharaj instructed me to read daily. He said, but I see sometimes you're crying. He said, yes, when I understand that Krishna, out of his love for his devotee, he took the position of charioteer to serve his devotee, it gives me great pleasure and tears come. So Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appreciated that the Brahman was carrying out his order, and by the blessing of Guru, he received the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So although we're dumb, illiterate, incapable of actually doing anything practical, still Srila Prabhupada is engaging us in his service, so we can have the nice festivals, decorate the deities nicely, chant and dance. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was explaining to the Vedantas, Prakashananda Saraswati, and all the very highly literate Sanskrit scholars, that my Guru Maharaj considered me a great fool. He just instructed me to chant the holy name constantly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But when necessary, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also explained the Atma Rama verse and all the Vedic literatures very, very clearly for the benefit of everyone. So today is a very auspicious day, Lord Balaram's appearance day. We heard that he's the second expansion of Krishna. He's not different than Krishna, just a different form. Krishna has unlimited pastimes, appears in unlimited forms, and because he's very busy, very active in all these rasas. And it's described that Balaram also created a spiritual world, although it's always existing. I think just for a little bit for our understanding, that not only that, but he expands himself. You see the technicalities of all these expansions are explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that in the corner of the spiritual world, a little cloud develops, like Mahat Tattva, and then the Lord, Balaram, in the form of Sankarshan, he goes in this Vairagya river between the spiritual and material worlds. And before lying down, Balaram creates a very nice, comfortable cushion in the form of Sheshanaga. So Karana Dakshai Vishnu, the Karana ocean, the Lord comes, but Balaram is always thinking of how to serve Krishna. He's Krishna himself, but he's giving example that it's like we're all little parts of Krishna too. We're all little Krishnas. And sometimes we forget to serve Krishna. But actually, Balaram, he's not forgetting, he's exhibiting the service attitude with love. So he makes a nice, comfortable arrangement, Karana ocean, Karana Dakshai Vishnu, and unlimited heads, he's glorifying Krishna. He's singing his glories. So it says then the Vedas are sung like this. Balaram actually singing the Vedas. Just like a king, he's woken up by his servants who are singing his glories. You know, oh king, you're very wonderful, you're great. So the Vedic literature actually is being sung by Lord Balaram, and Krishna in his pastime is awakening. When he opens his eyes, he sees the Mahatattva, and he impregnates Maya Jakshena Prakriti Suyate Satcharacharam. That he's actually planting the seeds of all the living entities, the spirit souls, into Mother Nature, coming from Mahavishnu. There's some different philosophical points of view that we've come from Mahavishnu, Brahmajyoti, spiritual world. We know we've come from somewhere. We're part of Krishna. And Prabhupada often says, go back home, back to the spiritual kingdom. So we may not know in a mature way how to achieve that goal, but by following the order of Srila Prabhupada and by reading his books, reading in even the first, second canto, the process of creation is very elaborately described. And I just read something in the 12th canto, Markandeya Rishi, the whole pastime of Markandeya Rishi. If you've not read that, I enjoyed that very much. That when Markandeya Rishi was performing his sacrifice in yajna, Indra became a little bit concerned that this person is becoming very, very powerful. So he sent Cupid and the Apsaras and the dancing girls. He brought the autumn, the spring, the breezes. Everything was blooming and the birds were chirping. Everything was very conducive. And Indra was trying to see that he can break the vows of Markandeya Rishi. And then when Cupid and all his associates tried very hard, won't go into details because the temptations of material world are posted everywhere. You can open your computer, on the internet, on the billboards. Maya is all prevalent, is everywhere because we want Maya. We want to forget Krishna. We want that happiness, but it's the illusory happiness that's drawing us. So in this way, Indra became pleased because Markandeya Rishi, by his tapasya and his austerity and his celibacy, they all felt like they were going to be burnt to pieces. So Indra gave benediction, and Naranarayan, the Lord appeared, Naranarayan. And then Markandeya Rishi is offering beautiful prayers, glorifying the Supreme Lord. Parang Dhamma Pavitrang, what is that, Arjuna's prayer? Huh? Parang Brahma, Parang Dhamma, Pavitrang, Paramang Bhavam, Purusham, Shashitam, Divyam, Adi Devmojam Vibhum. So when Arjuna saw Krishna in all his various incarnations, the material existence, and he became totally overwhelmed. So in the same way that Markandeya Rishi, he glorified, and then Markandeya Rishi said, I'm very pleased with your sacrifice, with your celibacy, with your following the rules and regulations, great austerities. I want to give you a benediction. And he was happy just to have that darshan. He was happy to have the darshan of the Lord. And we've seen many examples in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Dhruva Maharaj and others. Very happy just to have. Now we're having the darshan of the most beautiful Krishna Balaram, Radhashama Sundar, Gauranitai. So he said, but I am curious to know about your material energy, the illusory energy. And the Lord said, so be it. And then he went to Badrika Ashram. And Markandeya went back to his hermitage, doing his yajna performance and austerities. But he kept thinking about that. And then all of a sudden, the clouds were rumbling, just like Lord Balaram is creating the whole material universe. He's also maintaining it. He creates Lord Shiva, who's also always worshiping Sankarshan, and then he devastates the material universe. So Markandeya started seeing the winds, the tossing winds, the waves, and torrents of rain was coming down. They said like wagon wheels, huge amount of rain. And all of a sudden, all the oceans were flooding and all the land was disappearing. So much rain that actually covered the whole earth, all the planets, the higher planetary systems. The whole universe became submerged in this ocean of devastation. And it's described as many big monsters in the ocean, like Timagillas and other kind of monsters described. It was very, very fearful. And Markandeya Rishi was being tossed and battered and thrown by all these wind and rain and storm. I know we had one, the Jamuna Boat Festival. I don't know who attended that. But just as the Jamuna Boat Festival ended, a huge storm came and everyone scattering, running for, everybody's totally soaking wet. That's just a little tiny, tiny glimpse. But Markandeya said for millions of years was experiencing this. But then he noticed there's one little island with a banyan tree, and on the leaf was a very beautiful boy, describing Krishna, describing his complexion, his eyes, his beauty, his ornaments. When you describe, the descriptions of Krishna in the Vedic literatures are just so incredible. Who could make them up? I mean, you figure, some people may say, oh, these are just stories, but no one can write like this, and no one can have this kind of vision out of his imagination. So Markandeya Rishi became totally enamored by, and he saw that this little baby, he took hold of his foot and he put his toe in his mouth, sucking. This is, the pastimes are there of Krishna. And Markandeya Rishi, after seeing all of this, many more things took place, but somehow or other, the description, he showed the whole material manifestation where he saw the demigods, the incarnations, time, all the ashrams, higher, lower, everything is there. So Balaram's creating all this. Expansion of Balaram is creating the whole material universe, and then sprouting Brahma, Lord Brahma, giving the Vedic literature, because only Krishna can give us the Vedic knowledge. It's not some man-made concoction. This is actually, Balaram's the original guru. What is guru? Guru is one who gives us knowledge of the process to stop the cycle of birth and death. Guru is giving us guidance to keep us on track so we don't waste the human form of life. And this is what the Vedic literatures are all about, is to awaken us to our God consciousness. So after that entire tremendous ordeal, then Markandeya again found himself back in his hermitage as before, and totally relieved of any stress and anxiety. So it's very difficult to understand how powerful is Balaram, how powerful is Krishna, how powerful the Supreme Lord is, but also how merciful Krishna and Balaram are. That despite the fact of being rebellious children, you know, sometimes children can be a little bit rebellious, and they demand to have what they want, and if they cry loud enough and scream loud enough, okay, take it, do it. The parent becomes a little bit frustrated, doesn't know how to deal with it. Although Krishna can deal with it, he said, okay, here come. I'll give you the material world, give you 8,400,000 different species of life. You can try flying in the air, swimming deep in the ocean. You can be a little worm in the ground. You can be a tiger. You can be, people will be fearful of you, have great strength. Be a nice Brahmin, a human being, people will respect you. A king, you can become a king. You can have subjects. And then you can fight, have a war. It's my property. No, it's your property, it's my property. But at the end, all the kings are just in name only. They just all become ashes and dust. Their name, it becomes stool, ashes, all these kind of things. Basically, the material bodies, they're just little toys so that we can somehow or other try to get it out of our system. But unfortunately, this desire to become number one is very, very prominent in everyone. Number one, dad, number one in this. You see all the sporting events, the world championship fighting, that this person is number one, and they feel very, very proud that this is a great accomplishment. But from a devotional point of view, even if you look at the history, who's had the opportunity to even hear about Krishna and Balaram? Srila Prabhupada, he's giving us and delivering to us Krishna book from the very beginning to understand the reason why the Lord appeared. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanang dharmasya tadatmanang sajamyaham. Whenever and wherever there's a discrepancy in religious practice, when people lose their way, when people are lost, bewildered, and as the Kali Yuga progresses, there's also the symptoms of Kali Yuga. People's lifespan will get shorter, smaller and smaller. They become shorter in size. Or that pastime of Raivata Maharaj, Revati was being married to Balaram, and he could not find a suitable husband for his wife. So he went to Lord Brahma to ask counsel. But by the time he came back, all the different yugas passed. And it was Lord Balaram appeared, because he was in Satya Yuga, so by the time the end of Dwapara Yuga came, so many millions of years passed. So when Balaram agreed to marry with his plow, because they were much taller and bigger back in Satya Yuga, he made her the right size for the Dwapara Yuga. That was just a little side thing there. But in Kali Yuga, people's lives become shorter and shorter. We're thinking, boy, he made it to 90 years. He had a very good life. He lived his life nicely, so it's okay. He can die now. It's all finished. Back to worms, back to stool, back to ashes. And if one makes it to 20, 30 years, considered a grand old man, and all the Vedic literature becomes non-existent. There's no more knowledge of Krishna and Balaram, or Gaura-Nitai. And at that time, that's towards the end, Lord Kalki appears. And there's a description of his beauty, and with sword in hand on his Devadatta, his horse, at lightning speed, all those people who are bogus kings and pretenders, imitators of Krishna, by the millions he cuts their heads. So we've seen in the history, Parasuram, the great wars and great battles. This is the nature of this age, Kali Yuga. Even Lord Balaram, he's killing Pralambasura, people who are pretending to be what they're not, and then they're actually demons in disguise. Dhenukasura, they're harassing the devotees, not allowing them to have the nice fruits of the Talavan. So Balaram took him by his hind legs and spun him around till he was dead, and all his followers, all the asses were attacking Krishna Balaram, and became a ass-killing festival, and they threw him in all the trees. All the trees were bending down, offering obeisances to Balaram and Krishna, offering their fruits. So many beautiful stories are there. And also, in modern technology, Dandavat also has many stories about Lord Balaram, many different speakers they spoke. I was just so happy to have Mukunda Datta explain from the scriptural teachings. I thought maybe I just try to speak something. But we should just try to appreciate what Srila Prabhupada has given us in the form of Krishna book. Read Krishna book. Read Srimad Bhagavatam. Read Chaitanya Charitamrita. Read it out loud. Hear it. Use your eyes, your tongue, your ears, and by hearing this sound vibration of glorification of Krishna and Balaram, then the prayers that are recited throughout these Vedic literatures, Lord Shiva is giving prayers, the four Kumaras are giving beautiful prayers, the Yogendras, Markandeya Rishi, Uddhava, Krishna teaching Uddhava, so many, all these prayers, you're hearing them out loud. It's like you become a participant. We have to participate. Like when the kirtan's going on, better we participate. Sit down, hear the mantra, chant the mantra, hear the sound vibration. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. These sound vibrations, they start freeing the dirt that's caked. When they say caked on, that means it's compressed. You know, that it's so solid there, you practically need a chisel to take off the dirt. They say sometimes like coal, the more you keep cleaning, it's still black. So bala is strength. We need strength. But we need spiritual strength. There's actually a yoga society that they think that unless you're, doing barbells and bench pressing, nothing wrong with health, I'm just saying, but it's not that kind of bala we're talking about spiritual strength. And spiritual strength comes from Lord Chaitanya's message, Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. That one who becomes humble, meek and humble, tolerant in a tree. The grass is being all day long. People are trampling, especially when the boys are playing soccer at the Gosha, the grass is trampled. But the grass is not complaining. The tree is very tolerant. The scorching heat, but still it's giving shade to others and giving fruits and flowers. So this is we have to develop the godly qualities. And Balaram is providing all the paraphernalia. This temple, the walls of this temple are being supported by Balaram. So we have to purify our vision. Premanjana churita bhakti velochanena. We have to actually see Krishna in every atom. See Krishna is present everywhere. Someone was making a comment, it's no good that we're putting Prabhupada on this side because then when people are offering the obeisances, their feet are facing the deities. I said, yes, you're right, but Krishna is in every atom, so wherever you offer your obeisances, you're offering your feet to the deities. Of course, I'm not getting into a technical thing here, but I'm just saying, Krishna's all pervasive, he's everywhere. And why does Krishna have all these loving exchanges with the gopis? We're hearing how the gopis were so... You said that some people say Krishna left Vrindavan, and some people say he came back, and some people say that he's always been there. So yes, it's depending on the vision of the devotees. And that mood of separation is actually very deep, loving affection. When Krishna was having that rasa dance with the gopis, and somehow or other they felt themselves the most fortunate people in the whole universe, then Krishna, he left all of a sudden with someone else, with Radharani. And then they were following all the footsteps of Radha and Krishna. And then all of a sudden they saw that Radharani's footsteps, she was getting tired, and she said, Krishna, you carry me. And somehow this pastime is very deep philosophical, and Krishna also left Srimati Radharani, and then she was feeling, oh no, where's Krishna? Where's Krishna? So we all should have that mood of okay, not that I'm seeing Krishna every day, but we are seeing Krishna every day, but that separation is still there, that I want to experience again being in the spiritual kingdom and glorifying Krishna and all the beautiful things that go on in the spiritual world. Because the illusion of this world is keeping us imprisoned. There are prisoners. Prison is actually meant for reformatory, technically. Sometimes we do something wrong against the law. So you have to suffer some penalty. You have to pay a fine if it's a minor infraction. You may have to go to jail for a few days. You might be in prison for life. And the idea is that by this punishment or atonement, I should learn that actually I have to be aware. What is the law? The law of God is the Vedic literature. And what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the six Goswamis, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaurkishordas Babaji Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, their determination, their strength, their power, the enthusiasm, giving the order to Srila Prabhupada, you go and preach this message of Krishna consciousness to the Western world, because people are lost. They're in ignorance. They're suffering. Everyone is suffering. Srila Prabhupada underwent great austerity, yajna, sacrifice. Markandeya Rishi was performing sacrifices. The Lord was pleased by his sacrifice. Srila Prabhupada performed great austerity in his sacrifice. The Lord is pleased by his sacrifice and yajna. So now we're seeing our society is growing. The Krishna consciousness society is growing. And that's what the society is consisting of. Those who are Krishna conscious are part of the Krishna consciousness movement. But we have many people, some are not so Krishna conscious, so there are different degrees. You avoid those who are simply talking Gramya Katha, political talk, fault finding. They could be devotees, they're chanting Hare Krishna, wearing tilak. But we should be careful to keep our association amongst those who are simply appreciating the activities of other devotees, appreciating the beauty of the deities, participating in doing nice service. You think, well, what is nice service? Everyone is thinking, what is my ashram? What is best for me? What's best for you? Just obey the order of your spiritual master. Follow the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness. Chant the holy name enthusiastically. Come and see the deities for the Mangal Arati. Worship Tulsi Devi. Perform the Guru Puja. Come to the Bhagavatam class. We think, oh, I'd rather read, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's books, or I could read Prabhupada's books or hear a lecture. No, but see, the thing is, the order of the Guru is the most potent aspect of our advancement in Krishna consciousness. So we may not be the best of speakers or most erudite scholars, but still that potency is delivered in the form of obeying the orders of the spiritual master. Prabhupada would say, where is so-and-so? Oh, he's working out. No, this is not the time. Bhagavatam class you should attend and hear the Bhagavatam. Hear the lectures, the glorification of Krishna, because in the society of the Vaishnavas, satsanga, this is how Krishna appears. When devotees are sitting together chanting the holy name, Krishna is appearing there. He's dancing. And because we're trying to glorify Balaram on this auspicious day, Krishna and Balaram are here. They're always here, but they're more present because we feel the presence of Krishna Balaram due to our obeying or trying to satisfy our spiritual master's wishes. It's very difficult to think that we can jump or I know better. I think maybe I'll just, just roll around Govardhan the rest of my life and I'll achieve perfection, because it's described that these are very elevated places and we should respect very much so. But also, Srila Prabhupada says that everything is here within the boundaries of Krishna Balaram. You have Radhakund, Govardhan, the whole spiritual world. Krishna and Balaram are personally present on the altar and also in our heart. And they're giving us guidance. Even though we're hearing daily, we're not the body, we're spirit, soul. But who has realized we're not the body? Maybe there's some realized souls that we're not the body. But immediately, every ache and pain you feel, I pulled a muscle the other day and I was walking like a totally old person, which I am. And I felt, wow, this body is getting, used to be able to jump, can't jump. Now we just shuffle in the kirtan, But we see some devotees are still jumping. It's good. This enthusiasm. And when we were, sometimes I hear that, because when you were there, when Prabhupada was there, then that enthusiasm was paramount. It was so good. People were just, hair was standing on end. And we're jumping and dancing and performing enthusiastic devotional service. But most of Prabhupada's disciples were not with Prabhupada directly, but they were with Prabhupada directly by following his orders, by going out in Sankirtan, by doing their duties enthusiastically. So what's the difference if Prabhupada is physically present also? He's in Samadhi here, he's here on the altar, and it's not, it says only foolish people think that Vaishnavas die when they're still living in sound. Prabhupada is living in his teaching. When Krishna left this world, all the sages became concerned. He said, no, my incarnation is in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, because Kali Yuga could not enter as long as Krishna lotus feet were present on the earth, Krishna and Balaram, Kali Yuga could not enter. But after Krishna went on with his pastime, Leela's going on, Balaram is appearing right now. Nitya Leela is constantly appearing for the pleasure of the devotees. But the sages have confirmed that the Lord is still present in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. And what does that mean, Srimad Bhagavatam? Bhagavatam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the beautiful story of the Supreme Person. So every word, every pastime, and every message of Srimad Bhagavatam is a glorification of Krishna and Balaram. Sometimes we read about dynasties and kings and different stories, not fully understanding how they may relate to the absolute truth or the gopis' love for Krishna dancing together. Prabhupada also said that to hear about the Pandavas is even more important than hearing about Krishna Balaram, because Lord Shiva is glorifying that the devotees are more worshipable. Why is that? Because they're very dear to Krishna. If you worship, you may say something to a big man, oh, you're great, you're wonderful, this, that. He doesn't take it so seriously. But if you glorify his child, or something in connection to the Lord in a dear way, this makes a special connection. Just like we chant for Radharani, we're chanting Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshware Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hare Priye. Srimati Radharani is the Queen of Vrindavan. And so when we say Hare Krishna, we're calling Srimati Radharani, please engage me in the service of Krishna and Balaram. So the more we call out with sincerity, and the more we actually genuinely want the blessings of the Lord, then Srimati Radharani on our behalf says, Krishna, this devotee, Balaram, is doing nice work. Give your blessings. Oh, he's doing good? Give blessings, Mukunda, Toshan. Give, yes, they're nice people, okay. So, we are getting a referral from Srimati Radharani. We're getting a referral from Srila Prabhupada. If you want to approach a big man, I know the secretary. So I'll approach the secretary. Sometimes Dharmatma, he's the president and secretary, so if you need something from the management, you got to find Dharmatma. And this is all Krishna's arrangement for all of us. Stay together, stay strong. Because living alone, outside, Maya is very strong. Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya dharatyaya mamivaye prapadyante mayame tang tarantite. This divine energy of Krishna, Maya, is difficult to overcome. Not by our own mental gymnastics or performance of yoga or self-determination. I'm very powerful, I'm strong, I'm going to defeat the mind. Bhagavad-Gita very clearly says that even in the mind of one who's very intelligent, can easily be swept away. We see history of such rishis performing meditation thousands of years under the water, and simple little distraction, one could lose his firm meditation. So we're not great, powerful yogis. But if we are truthful, if we genuinely want to somehow assist Srila Prabhupada in the process of glorifying Krishna Balaram, the process of helping others become Krishna conscious, this is very pleasing to Srila Prabhupada, is very pleasing to Krishna. Krishna says there's no one more dear to me than he who is broadcasting this message of Krishna consciousness. So we're not only having a choice, but we're being ordered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, I order everyone, go to town and village and broadcast this message of Krishna consciousness, especially Bharata Bhumi Hola Manushya Janma Janma Sartaka Kori Parakara Upakar, that Varsha is not just India, it was the whole world. The whole world was previously Bharat Varsha. Now it may appear geographically to be a certain geographical configuration, but Prabhupada said even in America, in a long, long time ago, there were certain kinds of worship. You know, the American Indians have their kind of worship. South America, they had their temple, different kind of worships and temple. Everything is from the Vedic culture. But as Kali Yuga progresses, things deteriorate, and people misunderstand what is the essence of the religion. People misunderstand what is the essence of the ritual. Even when Krishna and Balaram and the cowherd boys were hungry, they said, oh, the Brahmanas are performing yajna right now. There's so many offerings. They're offering to the Lord. And so when the cowherd boys came to the Brahmanas who are performing the sacrifices and ritualistic ceremonies, and they said, Krishna and Balaram are hungry. Please give us an offering. Children, go away. We're performing religious duties. But the offering was meant for Krishna, but Krishna and Balaram is asking for the offering. So the misunderstanding of so-called religionists, the misunderstandings of those persons who are not clearly getting the guidance of a tattvadarshi, someone who's trikalagya, who sees past, present, and future, who's on the transcendental platform, then that's a dangerous path to follow. But then the Brahmins' wives, the Brahma Patnis, they had love for Krishna, deep love. And when they heard that Krishna and all the cowherd boys are hungry, immediately they ran to give. And then the Brahmins thought, we are so unfortunate. We perform so many rituals and so much yajna and you know, nice tilak and looking real paka. But our wives who have not performed practically any austerities, they're experiencing the pleasure of Krishna Balaram. I mean, they're experiencing the realization that Krishna Balaram is here and I'm meant to serve Krishna Balaram. So we have to develop the service mood. It's not just let me serve myself. As long as I get a nice room, I get a nice little maintenance, you know, 3 meals a day, temple, have a nice bead bag and look good. This is all nice, you know, that at least it's some step towards Krishna consciousness. But we should endeavor with enthusiasm to serve. Balaram is very enthusiastically serving Krishna, and we have to follow in Balaram's footsteps. Because if Srila Prabhupada was not just sleeping or wasting time, he utilized every moment, so calculative, even the little bit of expenditures that he had, very much calculated how I'm spending Krishna's money, how I'm spending Krishna's resources, how I'm spending my time to translate the books of all the acharyas so that people don't have to suffer. So we have that opportunity, and we should actually take advantage of it, especially on holy days. That's one of the injunctions, that we should celebrate very enthusiastically the holy days, like Janmashtami, Balaram's appearance day, Radhastami's coming. Every day is a festival in Vrindavan. So you have an opportunity to serve enthusiastically, and very rapidly one can make spiritual advancement. Not that we're calculating. Sometimes if you're on a diet, you're on the scale every day. Well, I lost a few pounds today. You'll know if you're becoming Krishna conscious, if you're actually relishing hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, if you're actually relishing chanting the holy name with the devotees, and enthusiastic about rendering service, then it's an indication that this person is happy, enthusiastic, and he's following the orders of spiritual master nicely. And Prabhupada, just to give management a little perk here, some people were saying, oh, they want to go to the guru for everything. The guru would say, just follow your authorities. Not that we're Krishna or I'm your spiritual master, this or that, but being empowered in the Guru Parampara, we have a chain of command. And that chain of command is not simply to exploit or abuse, but sometimes it happens, and there may not be the greatest decisions in the world in our ISKCON management structure. But appreciate the essence of ISKCON. What Prabhupada's given us, what the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad-Gita, the opportunity to serve Krishna, whatever faults and shortcomings and stumbling blocks that may be there, that can all be resolved in due course of time. But stay strong in Krishna consciousness. And this is the whole purpose of a society, to gain strength. Balaram is very, very beautiful, very powerful. He's always with his plow. And we heard how when in Hastinapur, was it Samba? Supposed to have a marriage? Huh? Lakshmana, Duryodhana's daughter, and they refused to participate in giving the Pandavas back, Samba and Lakshmana, and they started insulting Krishna Balaram. So Balaram started dragging the city into the Ganges, and they all came to their senses. Oh my God, what are we doing here? So sometimes we forget Krishna, Balaram, the Supreme Lord, and we, maybe let down our guard. We should be in reverence. And that whole causal ocean that Sankarshan, that Lord Balaram creates, just a drop of that ocean is the Ganges water. That Ganges water, when bathing in that Ganges water, purifies one. So you see, just a tiny little drop of the causal ocean created by Lord Balaram. We can't even imagine. It goes beyond our ability to understand. But still, in a very distant appreciation, or we're feeling ourselves inadequate to properly glorify Krishna Balaram. But we can try to somehow or other stay fixed in our determination, stay fixed in that even though we're experiencing some difficulties may be there, might feel I'm not advancing in life, I still have so many material desires, they're not going to go away. But by your determined effort of following the order of Srila Prabhupada, and by continually chanting the holy name enthusiastically one time, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Just keep doing it over and over and over again. Practice makes perfect. I try to be a drummer, so you have to practice your rudiments. Then after a while you just start playing. So we got to practice our rudiments, following the rules and regulations, reading, hearing the scripture, staying in the association of devotees, staying in the holy dham, and turn up the heat a little bit by always coming for the kirtans. Jai.